Hello, it is Wednesday, March 10th, 2021, and today we're going to be doing some Unity game development. Let me stop this. Let's go here. Okay. Camera is working, everything is running. Okay. Yep, microphone's working, camera has not changed, that's really good. We'll see if the camera stays that way. If it wants to cooperate for the entirety of the stream, that would be really nice. Anyway, today we're going to be working on some magic stuff. So this is our game for the 7-day roguelike challenge. I'm a little bit behind on where I'd like to be. But yeah, we definitely have the combat stuff working, so we can actually hit people. The weapon that we're using is not taken into account, but we do get the animation for attacking, hitting, and we do get damage dealt. We also have an AI that works, so if I hit the Q key, all the AI will try to move to us, and any AI that are adjacent to us will try to attack us. That did not happen this time because these two were not adjacent, but if I hit Q again, you'll attack, we do lose health, and then the other two try to move to us. The pathfinding works pretty well. We also have the pause menu stuff kind of implemented. I need to fix the clipping here. But if I hit Q at this point, nothing actually happens. I have to interact with the pause menu. Hitting escape closes it. Doesn't matter how fast you open or close it, it still executes correctly. What else have we got working? We have the sort of item stuff. What I want to do is I need to fix the rendering. I know there's a couple issues. Like you can see the path tile renders over the shield there. Shouldn't really do that. It shouldn't be rendering over these axes. But we can grab one of these. We can hold it in our inventory. If we don't put it in our inventory, then it just goes back into the world. But if we put it on this belt, we can keep it. And if I right-click, we equip whatever we right-click, and it'll swap out for us. And we can also throw them back on the ground if we don't want to hold them. And yeah, unfortunately, the weapon that we're holding does not get taken into account quite yet. The stats screen, this stuff. I have all the backend for this, I just need to actually hook it into the combat system. But yeah, I have that. I think if we hit the escape key here, nothing happens. Yeah, the escape key doesn't do anything here, neither does the AI key. Okay, yeah. Yeah, all that's working. So what I want to do today is I want to do some magic. So the idea going to be that magic is going to come from magic wands. Well, not magic wands, like magic items in general. So there's going to be like wands that hold your basic sort of attack spells, and then there's going to be staves that hold like more powerful spells. Something like that. So the first thing I need to do here is go into resources, items. I need to create a new item definition. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to create a new one, I'm going to duplicate an existing one. So let's duplicate this axe, and we'll say just, this is a wand. We're going to use, alright, I haven't imported the wand stuff yet, right? So we have images, items, yeah, we have these, okay. So there are these charms. Those are going to hold like more utility sort of spells. So I'm thinking like healing stuff. The stabs are going to be more like your long range kind of stuff. And then wands are going to be basic attack spells. So let's set this to 1024. Let's apply all of this. Yes, right in the UI. Okay. And then we have more wands. We have stabs here. Yeah. Okay. So let's apply those changes. Cool. So let's work with, oh wait, right here. Yeah, click on you. Okay, this is a wand. And we have the item in hand prefab, that's fine. Item in world prefab, that's fine. I believe, sure, we'll use a granite one. Let's just be a wand for now. Angle of -30 is probably fine. So let's just see how that looks. That's not what that's supposed to do. Right, because I didn't change the actual definition here. Okay. Now that should turn into a wand, which it does. It's massive. Okay. We need to fix that. So that's the in world scale needs to change. The scale probably needs to just be 111. And make it super tiny, unfortunately. Yeah, here. But scale here, whenever we grab it, yeah, it's super tiny, unfortunately. And in our hand, it's massive. Okay, so maybe 444, and 1 1/4, 1 1/4, and 1 1/4 might be fine. Okay, yeah, it's still a bit big in the world, but it's probably fine. Not 4, maybe 5. Yeah, getting the scaling on this thing is going to be tricky. I can also change the actual like resolution, or the pixels per unit, I believe I can change to fix some of this, but yeah. Okay, that's a little bit better. So whenever we equip a wand, what I want to happen, as you can see, the little, like the attachment point's a little bit off, but that's fine. But what I want to happen is I want a little panel on the left, or on the right here, sorry, not on the left, on the right, to appear with our, with whatever spells we can cast with this wand. And maybe there'll be multiple spells, maybe it'll just be 1 per wand, I don't know. Yeah, I want a little panel to appear, and when we click that, then we actually cast the spell. So today we're probably just going to work on like an AoE damage spell, just to kind of prove that we can hit multiple things, and to prove that we can hit things. Maybe we'll also work on like a healing spell too. 1 second. Okay. Just being notified of something, trying to make sure it's not from Twitch. Oh, you're having some internet issues though. See, the frames drop. Okay. It's always fun. Yeah. Okay. So what we want to do is on the UI, on the HUD itself, we need some kind of button for our spells. You can see all this is pretty crazy. But here we need, I don't know, a UI, let's say, possibly a Text Mesh Pro? Nah, just regular button. That's probably fine. And that'll be, I don't know, 200 by 200. No, that's massive. 100 by 100. Yeah, that's too tiny. 125 by 125. Yeah, that's about right. Okay. Be like right there. It probably needs to be attached to the left. Yes. Or to the right, sorry. And then we don't need this text. We just need this button. This is like the spell button. And this basically exists so that you don't have to click on a tile. You just click a button and it knows to activate whatever spell is attached to the wand. So now I've got to think of how we're actually going to attach spells to items. And there will probably be probably just be a field on this item definition for a spell, and then there will probably just be a scriptable object for each spell, if I had to guess. So let's go into Visual Studio here. Let's close all of this. We don't need the components. Scriptable objects, I guess we'll create a spell definition. Spell definition. And this will be in the namespace red+blue.game. I really should have namespaced this stuff better, but you know, hindsight's 2020 or something. Okay, so this is a spell definition. This is going to be attached to another scriptable object. We're going to use create asset menu. This will be definition. Sorry, menu name definition / spell. And then it'll be a question of how exactly this is going to work, but I guess we'll just do public void cast. And then we will cast from the some agent's position. Yeah, we'll use an agent that will be, because the agent will have the unit and it will also give us the position from which we're casting. and it will also let us know whether or not the player is casting it or an enemy is casting it, which we want to know all of those things. And so for this, we need to reference one of these from an item definition. So here, I guess we'll have a public spell definition spell. If this is null, then there is no spell attached to this item. So all of that should be working, or all that should be good. And then for the HUD itself, this is the HUD controller. Unfortunately, we have public start. All right. Health bar. So we know where the player is. That's good. Okay. So I guess I'll just have a public void cast spell. And then what this will do is this will say player. We actually probably should cache the player component somewhere. Say private void. Or no, we already have a wake. Oh no, not private. What am I doing? Have protected. No, actually, never mind. We don't need to do any of this. In cast spell, we can just say game manager component dot instance dot player. Yeah, and I think this is player component. It is, yeah, it's the player. All right, and it's basically a cached version. So with that, we want to say item. It's player dot agent dot unit dot item. In, I think it's in the right hand. And then we want to just say dot spell dot cast. Ugh, it's so bad. It's so bad. I hate all of this. Sure, we'll just say, let's say unit. We'll say player unit. I don't want to cache all of that. Ugh. It just reads so horribly. All right. And then the player player agent, which we can put first. There's no real reason to do this other than readability. But I do want to grab the agent, and actually we can just say agent. And then here we can just say agent.unit. And then we cast at whatever the agent position is. Yeah, that should work. All right, and then we will have a public void show spell menu, or show spells, I guess. And public void, actually no, we'll say show spells will show whether or not we want to show or hide them. And then for now, we'll just have a public, I guess, button. All right. Okay, public game object spell list. That'll work. Or just spells. Nope. So spells. Okay, and we'll just say spells.setActive is equal to show. And that will show / hide the spell button. And then when we equip an item, I don't know if it's the player component, or I think the unit component might be responsible for it. No, it's probably the unit. Oh no, it is the unit component that's responsible for it. Okay. So if it's an item in the left hand, that's where spells are going to be. So we'll say if, I think it's is enemy. So if not is enemy, then when we equip, okay, well actually no. What we'll say is if this is the is player, it's equal to game, all right, say game manager, no. We can determine if this is the player by comparing the game manager.player or game manager component.instance.player to, or the game object to ourselves, to our game object. If the two are equal, then this is the player. So if is player, then what we want to say is HUD controller component dot instance dot show spells item dot spell. So we can convert this to actually show spells. Right, what we can do is we can actually create a list, or no, not a list, we'll just say spell. Spell definition spell. And we can actually convert that to a bool implicitly, like that. And then in our case, we might show or hide that spell depending on various things. Right now I'm thinking that this is just going to be the parent of whatever that button is. And in this case, we're just implicitly converting to a Boolean. So if this is null, this will be false. If it is not null, then it'll be true. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this, but I think it's fine. So let's test that, right? Should get a new field here for spell, okay. And then in HUD, we should get a new thing for spells. And we'll create a parent for this. This will be the spells here, and then it'll have a width of 0, height of 0. That will be attached there. You're attached there, so we can actually just center you at 0, 0, 0, 0. Yep. So now you are at 0. Oh, right, the width and height, right. 125 and 125. Okay. So yeah, you're attached there, perfect. Okay, and that should start inactive. Yeah, spells is that, all right. So let's check this out. So when I equip you, whoops, if I grab, damn it. If I grab you, nothing happens, okay, that's as expected. Because this wand doesn't have a spell on it. But now, if we go into resources, let's say spells. Okay, let's create a new spell definition. Definition for spell. Just call this test spell. Cool. And it doesn't do anything right now. That's fine. And then in item, we go into wand. And we want a spell definition, so we go into spells here. Right. The way that we can do this is we have to lock the inspector, or we don't have to, but we can. Or actually, no. I'll just use the thing like that. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So now that has happened. If we equip you in the right hand, that appears. Perfect. So now if we go over and grab, let's say, an axe or something. Oops. Equipping the axe should cause this button to disappear. We can also click the button, great. Yep, so we can swap between the axe and the wand, and then when the wand is active, we have the spell. Probably want to add an animation, but I can do that later. So yeah, we can still attack with this. Perfect. All right. Now, let us double check that the spell is actually being cast. So we'll say debug.log. We'll say casting, and then let's give this a name. So let's say public string name. So we'll say casting whatever the name is. Okay. So what we'll do is we will create two wands. Let's go over to, where is it? It's over here, right? Yeah. All right, very weird angle and all that stuff. Let us hide you, because I just don't want to be viewing you right now. All right. So let's create a duplicate of this. All right. And then in wand, let's duplicate you. I'll have wand-0 and wand-1. Okay. And then one of you have, I don't know, spell 0, and just create spell 1. Right, and then we'll give you a name, say spell 1, and then spell 0. Okay. Then in items, so wand 1 is already linked to, or sorry, wand 0 is already linked to spell 0, and then we will have you linked to spell 1, and let's give you a different graphic. So instead of the granite one, we use the marble one. And here, one of you is wand 1, the other is wand 0. Right, you need to be wand 0. Okay. So 2 different wands, 2 different spells, and 2 different things to cast. Okay. I don't remember which is which, but it doesn't really matter. So if we equip you, we cast the spell. We did not get a console.log. Neither did we get one there, so something's not working. The button is not attached, that's the problem. A couple ways to deal with that. The way that we're going to choose to deal with it is we're going to grab the spell button, we're going to go here, and then we're just going to attach you to the HUD, and then we're going to say cast spell. Alright, so let's check that out. Yeah, I really want some kind of like grab mode. Alright, let's do this, and then we get a null reference. Okay, that's interesting. So it might be in, I might have gotten the hand confused, it might be in the right hand. But no, I don't think I did. Oh yeah, item in right hand, yeah, okay, so it's item in left hand, yeah. Because it's our right, but it's the character's left. Since they're facing the camera, it's a little confused. Okay, so that, we are casting spell 0, and then here we're casting spell 1. Perfect. Don't really have a cast animation. That'd be kind of cool to add. Trying to think of how that would work. Well, actually the unit component could just cast, right? So we wouldn't even need all of this, we would just need the player. Yeah, okay. Oh, it wouldn't be the player component though, it would be the unit component. Yeah, we just have you do the casting. But do you have an agent? You don't reference an agent. That's probably fine though. Alright, so we'll just add a, sure, public void cast. And so what you will do is here, you'll do that. So you will cast, and the agent you're going to use is get component, agent component, yeah. Because all units will have an agent. So we'll just say item in left hand dot cast that. Alright. So in this case we're going to say player dot agent dot unit dot cast. Ugh. So gross. But the advantage of doing this is that this has a reference to the animator. So we can actually play, we can set an animation trigger for cast in here. And now this means that basically any unit can cast a spell, and we need to add the actual cast animation. So the way we're going to do that is we open, where is it? Let's open the player, actually let's grab you. Open the prefab in isolation, select the top level thing, and go into the animator. I thought you had an animator. No, the model has an animator, that's what it is. Alright. So animations here are stored in assets animations, and then piece. Yeah, so we'll just say arms cast, right? And then for you, for the cast, we really want the left hand to kind of go up a little bit. So let's turn on keyframe recording, and then I guess we want that to happen really quickly. And then we want you to go back to normal really quickly, or not relatively quickly, but slowly, yeah. Actually, this is probably even not quick enough. So yeah, that's probably quick enough. Okay. Then we can say that or we can set the keyframe so that the animation, or so that that's the same here and here. And then the right hand, that can go down a little bit. Oh, whoops, not there. That can go a little bit down like that, a little bit out, and we can tilt it a little out like that. Perfect. Okay, and then we'll just have you return to normal right here. We can delete the keys there, have you return to normal there. Right, and you probably need to rotate inward a little bit. Oh, whoops. Probably need to rotate inward a little bit. Yep. Okay. So we can grab that, do that, and do that. All right. And so if we play that, approximately what does that look like? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Just need a little bit of motion to indicate that something's happening. We'll select you, that'll put the animator there, perfect. Then we add a trigger for cast. Okay. Let's go to layers. This shouldn't be in body. It should be in arms. Yes. So create empty. Set the animation to be arms cast. Then we cast here. Okay. And then just create transitions between the two. And we want the exit time. Basically, this is null motion, so it doesn't have an exit time, but I'm just going to set it up just in case something gets screwed up. Your condition is not attack, but it's cast. You have an exit time at 1 and 0 there. Okay, no conditions, that's fine. All right. So in theory, that should work. Yes, I think this works, or it at least should work. Okay, so let's grab you, let's do that, and then we cast. Yeah, okay. We can make that animation a little bit better later. But yeah, it's a little bit different than the attack animation. Okay, and now we need to make the spell actually do something. Because all it does right now is print that it's being cast. So in this case, what we will do is we will just do damage to everything around the agent. So what we can say is, I guess we can use our standard method for finding adjacent stuff. Really, we should, what is it? We should have the map doing this, but it's a little bit too late to add it. For x offset equal to -1, x offset less than 2, x offset plus plus. I mean, I guess we could add it to the map, but I'm a bit lazy. This doesn't need like that. Not if, got 4. Knew something was wrong. Okay. And for the Z offset, okay. Nope, that's not at all what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. Okay. So if X offset is 0 and Z offset is 0, 0 and Z offset is 0, then we return, or not return, but we continue. Oh, whoops, and z offset is 0. Then we continue. Otherwise, we'll say var tile is equal to, well, actually, we need to check, we need to say if, is it map component? Oh no, we need to find the map. So we need to say map is equal to find object of type map component. So you need to say if map dot is on map, the x value and the z value, so var x is equal to agent dot x plus the x offset, and then the z is equal to agent dot z plus the z offset. And we'll say if is on map xz, and there is a tile there. Then the tile is equal to map of xz. Can we do as tile component tile? Oh, does that not work, really? Or is that is this a C# 9 thing? That's probably a C# 9 thing. I know you can do pattern matching in if statements, but I don't remember how to do it. So we'll say if tile.unit or .agent, and the tile.agent.unit .isEnemy is not equal to the agent.isEnemy or .unit.isEnemy. So this will basically mean that we only damage enemies. Then we will say something like public void execute on the unit component target. We will execute this execute method will be for like executing the effect. So we'll say tile.agent.unit dolphin. It looks like Dolphin X Pirate. Hey, how's it going? Right now we're just working on a game for the 7-day roguelike challenge. I am working on the actual magic system of it. So I do want to make sure that this is working. So let's say debug.log casting. Let's casting name on target. You got it? It's going good? Oh, thanks. Yeah, I wish my art was better. I think it would be more dope if my art was better. But it's really not. The best I can do is go into Inkscape and then make something and trace stuff, so get stuff that looks, you know, passable. So, okay, if I did all of that right, which I think is unlikely, what should happen is we should get a log message for everyone around us. So if I cast this, we do get one log, okay. Okay, so casting spell 1 on enemy, okay, that's good to know. So if I hit Q a couple times and just let these dudes move adjacent to me. Okay, you're gonna attack me. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the last game jam I went in, I did not score very high with art, so I don't know. Right now there's a lot of rendering issues, but yeah. I decided to make it's sort of got like a chess and sort of card type theme. Not card type, yeah, card type theme. So there's like spades and stuff everywhere, so using like the card suits. But let's see, okay, if I did this right, we should get 3 messages here, 1 for each of these. Oh god, I did that right, okay. And yeah, this is actually working correctly because we have missing tiles too. So yeah, I think this is actually working exactly correctly. So let's go to a place with 3 missing tiles and no enemies. Oh, whoops, that's not what I meant to click. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, it does appear to be working correctly. Oh, wait a minute. Something's broken. Yeah, something's actually broken now. I don't know what I broke. Hold on. No, really, what did I break? Huh. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yes, multiple times. I'm not sure why that broke. That's weird. Okay. Whoops. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix this. Ooh. I don't know why that's happening. Because we shouldn't be able... Should be checking if this is over... Okay, so that must be in the player component, right? Isn't that where I moved all this? Yeah, player component. Okay, handle input in handle movement, right? Is over inventory. Oh, okay. So we're only checking that. Alright, that's not what we want. We want to also check, what is it, Unity? No, it's Unity engine, no, is it event systems? It's probably event systems. Event system, no. This is always the fun part. I think it's Unity engine dot event systems. Event systems, yes. There's like an event systems dot current dot, it's event systems, or event system dot current dot is pointer over game object. That's what we want to check. And this is a method. So I think what this does is this checks if it's over a UI game object, and if it is, then we want to ignore whatever is going on. I think that's correct. Let's double check. We can actually see that pretty quickly. So if I go all the way up here, and then I hover over, let's say, the inventory, yeah, okay. So if I'm over any kind of UI object, it automatically stops raycasting. Whoa. Interesting. That broke. Why did that break? It doesn't have anything to do with that. Okay. I don't know why that broke. That's weird. So, okay, yeah, now that's working. And now if I go over here, yeah, okay. Being over that, okay, that fixes that. That's good to know. Okay. Alright, so what we want to do now is we want to deal damage to these enemies. So we can say target dot take damage. Yeah, that's fine actually, because I think the take damage is where the actual animation is triggered. So now we should see them take damage, and yeah, we should see them take damage on the health bar, and their animation should trigger. So let's wait for a bunch of them to get close to us. Okay, yeah, you're going to attack us, that's fine. Now if we equip this and we cast a spell, yeah, there we go. That's really cool. Now they all die, one of them drops something, awesome. Then if we equip the axe, that goes away. We can't cast spells anymore, but now we can. Yeah, okay. We can't always melee. And the right animation plays. Okay, I like that. So now, the other thing we need to figure out is how we're going to have different... basically, this determines what gets targeted, and this determines the effect. So there's a couple different ways we can determine the effect. You gotta think about it. So like this is a very simple AoE spell. But there could be other, so we could control the range of this pretty easily. We could also make spells that have a, Oh, okay, I'm trying to think of how we can, a couple ways we can do this. Okay, let's tell you what, let's make a healing type spell, because that will affect only us, and we want to be able to, basically want to change the way of selecting the targets versus the effect on the target. So what we will do is we'll create another scriptable object, and this will be for the spell effect. So this will be a spell effect. And then in the spell definition, we'll reference a spell effect somewhere. So we'll put this in the correct namespace. Yeah, okay, I know what we're gonna do. All right, feel really confident now. So let's grab this, and then let's put a definition for spell effect. It's gonna be a scriptable object. And then we will have, we'll have the execute method, and that'll be virtual. Yeah, that's what we'll do. And so virtual will let us override this in subclasses. So for each individual spell effect, we can make different subclasses. Actually, do I like that? No, I actually don't. No, I actually don't like that. No, let's not do that. What we're going to do is we're going to use an enum for both of these. So this will be in data. We're going to create an enum for the spell target. I'm going to say spell target. And we can get rid of all this. We don't need it. We don't even need Unity Engine right now. Let's put this in namespace, red plus blue dot, yeah, that's fine, dot game. Let's be a public enum spell target. So this is something that I've done, I think, with the dice, but I've not actually shown this yet. I don't think I've actually shown a tutorial on how to do this. So it will be, let's say the two target types are AoE and say self. So what you can do with enums, that's kind of cool, is you could normally do a switch statement. So we could say, you know, we could switch based on, or sorry, we could have a public spell target. We could say the target here, or target type. We could switch based on the actual target. Or what we can actually do, one of the fun things in C# is you can add extension methods to different types. And you can actually do this with enum types as well. So we're going to say spell target extensions, and I know I need to put class here, and that's not how you spell extensions, but sure. So this is public static class spell target extensions. Extensions, yes. Okay. And then we can add a public static, what is it? It's void. No, not void. It's going to be a list, not list registry. We need system collections generic for list. It's going to be a list of unit components. It's going to be get targets. So we're going to get the targets using a this spell target. And then we are going to have a map, because we need to know what map to get the targets on. Then I guess we're going to have an integer for the range. That'll work. And of course we could put the range. Is that going to be attached to the wand or the spell? That'll be attached to the spell, so we don't want to do it here. So now we basically have a spell target, so we could put the switch statement here, or we could create a constant list with a bunch of lambdas, which is what I'd prefer to do. So we create a constant, I think it's a constant list, right? And then we need using system. Or is it a map? No, it's a list, right? And then this is a function that maps from, let's say, a map component and a range. And then we're going to map that to a list of unit components. Okay. And that's going to be equal to a new list of that type. Oh wait, do you not? Oh, I don't have a name. We'll just say get targets or get target functions. And then that should be a new list. Oh, is this not valid? Function. Ah, right, we need one more. Okay, now that's valid. This should be a new. I'm not getting the autocomplete, and that's what's scaring me. Wait. Is it not constant? Why did the programmer quit his job? Because he didn't get a raise. Percentage guy. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, for me, that's kind of, might be more accurate than not, to be fair. I don't know. Yeah, that's about right. But how's it going? What am I doing wrong? Alright, sure, public static, I guess we won't worry about the constant part, because maybe lists can't be constant. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I guess, oh right, because it's technically not compile time constant, even though it is. Sure. And so this is a list of functions from map component and integer to list. Okay, so we'll just say map and range to, say, return. I taught early game dev for 2 years and still completely avoid arrays. Yeah, I do too. Well, if you're using, let's say, no, yeah, both C# and Java, lists are just strictly superior. Like, there's basically no justification for arrays. They're good for, like, performance, but if you're using, like, say, C# or Java, you're not getting performance regardless of what you do. So arrays, there's no real point in C# and Java. It would be better to just use a list because it has more features and it just makes more sense. Plus in Java, if you do like streams are actually, I think, faster than arrays anyway. And so yeah, you probably would just always want to use lists. I don't know, I did some speed testing with Java one time, and it actually shocked me how fast the streams were. I've never done it with C# and Link, though. So what we can do is we can say the getTarget functions. Here we return the getTarget functions, and all we need to do is we need to cast the target into an integer. And then I think we say invoke against map and range. There we go. Yeah. So basically what this allows us to do is we can now say for cast, and say target dot get targets, because we're using an extension method. And where is the map? It's here. We want to do this. So we can use the extension method, we can pass in our map, and we can say range is 1. And then we can move all this nonsense into here. I don't want to move it into here. Let's have a static function for now. Protected static, sure, void get adjacent. Then we use a map component map. Cool. Let's just paste this into here for now. What exactly do we need? Okay. We want to get rid of this. That needs to go in here for something later. All right. We have the map already. We don't need to do that. Let's say int center, or int x, int y. No, int center x, int center y. And this is the range. Or actually, let's not even worry about that for right now. Yeah, all right. So this is the, or no, center Z, yes. So the X is equal to this, and then the Y, the Z is equal to that, right? And this is var adjacent is equal to a new, let's say, list of tiles, because tiles are the only things that can contain agents, which is what we're operating with. So we'll say var tiles equal to that. What were we doing with that if statement? Tile.agent and that, okay. So we already know the tile exists, so all we need to do is we need to say adjacent dot add map of xy, or xz. xz, yes, okay. And then we can return the adjacent. All right, that doesn't need to be like that. And this, what do you not like? Oh, static classes, oh. Interesting. I didn't know that, sure. Here, let's just return get adjacent on map. Oh, we don't pass in the center, so we need to do that too. That makes sense. So I guess we just say agent. Sure. And then we need to add that into here as such, and then add that into here. And now we will have the agent, and then the agent. Okay. And we will use the agent.x and the agent.z. Okay. So that will get adjacent. That will get the adjacent tiles, but we want to filter out. Nope. So I recently got into Java, and I'm asking myself, why does Java have an addiction with just completely breaking? Yeah, Java's an interesting little language. What do you have issues with where it completely breaks? Because I know one of the things that I know is that the Java compiler, whenever you're using like streams or generics, it really, well, streams in particular, but like what is it? Like the Java Lambda functions, it really, oh well, none at the moment, but I did have them. Yeah, what I found is that there's two things with Java, streams and lambdas. They're really cool, but they don't. The Java compiler, for whatever reason, just cannot handle them when it comes to like generics. Like it can, but it just screws up so often, and I really never understood why. You get these weird, like, you know, cannot convert between capture and whatever. Right now I'm trying to throw a Tetris game together in Java. Okay, I've never tried to make Tetris, so I'm trying to think of, I mean, that would just be, I guess the issue would be trying to find out which pieces are colliding with each other each frame. But yeah, I don't know, if you could describe like the issues, I could probably help you, because like what I did, like my day job for years was with Java, so it was kind of second nature to me. But yeah, the issues that I found were with the generics and like capture groups and stuff. It gets real weird. And then there is like enums. Like I remember in, what was it, Eclipse a lot of time? Oh, for drawing the pieces themselves. What graphics API are you using? If you're using like Canvas stuff, that would be interesting. That would probably be kind of, I don't know. I always avoided Java UI. Like Java is actually generally pretty good for UI, but it's not great for graphics because it's just too slow, generally speaking. But I would guess it's probably the Canvas stuff. So we have what are we expecting here? Expecting unit components. Okay. Actually, this is probably fine, because what we want to do is we want to return the adjacent tiles. So we want to return a list of adjacent tiles. the adjacent tiles, we want to return the ones where, sorry, using system.link. So given, whoops, given a list of adjacent tiles, we want to return the ones where the tile.agent exists, and return where there's a tile.agent and the tile.agent.unit is enemy is not equal to the current agent.unit.is enemy. And we want to select each tile such that the tile.agent.unit. Then we convert that to a list. Okay. God, the conditionals in this are great. But anyway, okay, so given a map, an agent, and a range, we get all the adjacent tiles to the agents X and Z, and then we select only the tiles where there is an agent. So this will give us tiles. We select the tiles where there's an agent and the agent's unit is not aligned with whatever agent casts the spell. And then we take each tile, we grab the unit from it, and then we convert that to a list. All right, and that's for targeting AoE. And then for targeting ourselves, it's pretty simple. We just do agent.unit. You can even just do an expression defined member. We just say agent.unit. There we go. That's all we need to do. And that should target ourselves. And then for this, we need to pass in the agent here. Perfect. Why do you not like that? Cannot implicitly convert from blah, 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 blah. Oh, agent, no. Oh, it needs to be a list, okay. Give me a second while Eclipse is completely dying. Yeah, Eclipse is fun, isn't it? If you're not too invested in Eclipse, I might recommend moving to IntelliJ or something. Like Eclipse is what I use just because I know how to do it pretty well, and also Eclipse is pretty old and there's a lot of good there's a lot of documentation for it. I'm not going to say it's good because I'd be lying, but like if you're not super invested in it, or if you're just learning how to do programming or just learning how to do Java, I would highly recommend finding something else, because Eclipse is by far one of the worst. Oh, okay. Okay, if you like it, then I'd say use it. But just like in terms of overall, like I use it too, and I had to use it for my day job, so I just got used to it, and it's just the thing that I generally use. But in terms of like, you know, ease of use and stuff like that, it's probably one of the worst platforms out there. Like I tried developing a plugin for it, and it's just not a thing you want to do. But yeah, if you like it, there's nothing wrong with it. Like I use it too, so. But again, I'm just too invested in it. Like I've used it for too long. It's pretty much the same story with, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. Eclipse is one of those, I don't know, Eclipse is just weird. I think the issue with like Java enums is unique to Eclipse. Because what I found is that sometimes when you're editing an enum, Eclipse will just crash for no good reason. Oh, never mind. Yeah, that's about right. One of my coworkers once like suspected that, or he noticed that whenever we were like video calling for whatever reason, Eclipse would slow down, and it might just have to do with rendering or something. I don't know. Like streaming something and trying to operate Eclipse might be an issue, so that it might not be helping. But I think this will work. I think this should work. Okay. So now we just say get targets using the agent. Okay. And we actually don't need to do any of this. So it's the AWT graphics. Okay, AWT graphics is pretty good. Would it be smart to define the pieces in 2D arrays and drawing squares based on those arrays? Trying to avoid sprite PNGs, by the way. Okay, so you're using awt.graphics. Define the pieces in a 2D array. Yeah, you could do that. So you could, yeah, you could define like a 2D array. I've seen people do that before, actually. So you could do something, let me just think really quick. You could do something like, you know, some piece is equal to the new int, something like that, or no, not new int, new boolean, something like that, such that, something like, oh god, I can't remember Java literals. Not like that. True, false, no. So let's say they're what, like 4x4? So you'd be like false, false, false. Do something like, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of what the Tetris pieces look like. It'd need to be like a 3x3. No, it'd be a 3x4, wouldn't it? Yeah, it'd be like a 3x4 or something. So you could do something like that. And then that would give you the piece that looks kind of like, I don't know. Is this monospace? I think this is monospace. I'm trying to think, how do you represent a Tetris piece? Because, you know, you have the one that's kind of like, you know, it's kind of that little T shape. Be something like that. I think my Java's still right. Right. Fun thing is, I already have the code for looping over 2D array, rendering based on that, because I made Brick Breaker. Ah, okay. Fun fact, Brick Breaker looping code just uses integers instead of bools. Okay. Yeah, that could work too. Well, Brick Breaker, okay, yeah. So you could do 1 and 0. Yeah, you could do 0, 0, 0, 0, and then 1, 1, 1, and 1. And that might look easier. Well, actually, wait, what am I doing? Okay. Actually, you're right. It would look like this, wouldn't it? Look something like that. And I don't remember if you have to define, I don't think you have to define things, or the indices in Java like that. Yeah, this would work too because, yeah. So yeah, this would, or int. Already have arrays defined, yeah. So it'd be something like this. But yeah, storing the pieces as, let's say, integer arrays, yeah, that's probably a fair way to do it. That's probably how I would do it too. I'd probably have like a single brick and then just draw the pieces based on that. Rotation will be a pain because Tetris piece is different rotation, because each one has a different rotation point because of the grid. So what you could do is you could define an array that's much larger than the one that you need. So I think it'd be easiest if you defined it so that the piece was larger than it needed to be. So you could add like a couple extra rows. I'm trying to think of how it would actually rotate. You could do something like that, and then you could define a couple extra rows somewhere. So like say, because if you got it down to a 5x5 array, because you can see if you get it down to like a, whoops, probably don't want that there. Actually, I think this one rotates here. So if you define them like a 5x5 array, you can just rotate around the center, and then you can control the rotation point that way. And actually, I think it would be here, wouldn't it? So yeah, you can control the rotation point. You could handle them all the same way, and then this one would rotate around that tile. You just move it down. I guess it would be figuring out, yeah, I think something like this might actually work. Depending on what version of Java you're using, you might have to not use var or not use var. Luckily there's a reference sheet with all the rotation points. Yeah, I didn't know that they each had a different rotation point. That's kind of interesting. But I guess that makes sense because they are, I guess that's kind of annoying because the 1x4 one would have a very weird rotation point actually. Yeah, I think the others would be easy. It's just that one would have a weird rotation point. But okay. So we can use extension methods to call this getTargets method, and that will change based on what the actual value of this is. This returns a list of unit components, and so all we need to do is we say for each unit, we just execute. Actually, can we do? I'm curious. Yes, okay, we can do a method reference here. That's what I thought. Using 1.8 because my Java compiler is refusing to update from 1.8. So you can do that. So there's a couple ways to actually change it. You need to make sure that you have. Oh God, what is it? There's a way to do it. You need to make sure that you have the correct. You need both the JDK and then you also need a JRE that can run 1.8. And I know that I ran into this because I was trying to use Java 14 and I only had the. No, it was weird. But yeah, you need like both the SDK and both the JDK and a JRE that can run it. But 1.8 is fine. They didn't add. The only thing they added after 1.8 that's worth using is the var stuff. Otherwise, it would be records, but records are still in preview. There is some cool stuff with pattern matching, but it's not super relevant because it's just with like casting. But yeah, I think var is the only thing that they added that's super relevant. They didn't really. Oh no, they added some stuff to streams too, but nothing super important. But yeah, okay. I think we've done enough of this. Oh, broke something. Syntax error. Oh, is there not enough of these? There's not enough of those. Okay. That was the only issue. So I think I replaced that with functionally equivalent code. So let's find out. There's spells. So let's say we will damage others. And then we'll have, I don't know, a damage self spell. It's not very useful, but you know. Just to check that the actual targeting code is working. Okay. Yeah, okay, that'll work. Okay, so one of these will cast damage self, the other one will cast damage other. Okay, let's try this. So that was damage other apparently, and this is damage self. Okay. Okay, by the way, do you know how to open a console window through Java for system.out.println? Things don't have to run, println things, so I don't have to run .jars to the console, because in some cases I don't want println's version. Okay, so you can, there's a way to do it, because system.out.println I think is an output stream, so you can redirect that output stream. But what I would recommend you look into is Java SLF4J. SLF4J. I would highly recommend looking into. Where's a good example of it? SLF4J. I'd recommend you look into this because what you can do is you can use this thing called a logger. And you can give different log levels. So there's like debug, info, error, stuff like that. And what this will let you do is you can say like in a XML file that you only want to print debug stuff or you only want to print errors. And so this is generally how you do it instead of using system.out.println. Otherwise, I think you can do Java redirect system.out. I think you can do this. System class has set out and set error. So yeah, how to open a console window through Java for that. Yeah, you can do something with this, but otherwise just opening like a console window through Java itself, you'd either have to I mean, you'd either have to get like a GUI library that does it, or you'd have to have some kind of logging system that controls, yeah, you'd have to have some kind of logging system that controls it. But yeah, I don't know, like Java GUI stuff is really not fun. Well, it's fun if you use a library, but yeah. But if you just want to control whether or not the print lines are in the final output version, I would say either use a logger or just create a method for it. Yeah, something like that. I don't care about that. Okay. But I think we've just demonstrated that this works. Actually, let me just say debug.log in here. So what we'll say is we use string interpolation. We will say casting. But yeah, and if you don't use Maven, I would learn how to use that like as soon as you can, because Maven is one of the most useful things on Earth. It will basically, like, if you have like a library that you want to depend on or that you want to use, you just basically put a line in this file, like it's called a POM file. Just put a line in there, and then Maven will just go out to the internet, figure out where it is, and get it for you. It's just amazing. And it'll keep it up to date and all that stuff. It's really good. But if you're just learning how to program, it might be overkill. Or if you're just learning Java, it might be a little overkill, but I don't know. No such thing as overkill, in my opinion. Only varying degrees of certainty. Okay, so we cast damage other on that. Let's let everyone get adjacent to us. Okay, and so yeah, we get a bunch of, casting. Did we only get 2 there? No, we got 3. Okay. There's Discord bot that has the ability to compile. Yeah, I'm sure. There's like Java playgrounds too. Oh, whoops. Whoa. You can do like Java playground, and you can compile Java code in your browser if you really want to. If you really want something slow, slower than normal Java, of course. But yeah, you can do this too. I can also show you the assembly code. Oh god. Oh, that's great. Discord bots have too much power. They really do. I used to have an app on my phone that will let me write like Android apps. And so a lot of my experience came from just writing Android apps on my phone. Like a phone keyboard is literally the least efficient way to input code. I'm trying to think of fun stuff you can do in Java. You can actually do some really funny things with it. But of course, unfortunately, we're using C# here, so yeah, okay. But yeah, I think we have figured out the targeting stuff. We can target ourselves, or we can target other people. That's good to know. Now we have to basically control the spell effect. So it's a question. It's not really a question. I just want to do that the same way. So what we can do is we'll say spell effect. We could do this with, well, actually there's a very good argument to do this with a scriptable object. And the argument is that I might want to, spawn like some different particle effect for different spell effects. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have the spell effect be a scriptable object in and of itself. Say namespace red+blue.game. And so the scriptable object will let me actually cast the spell, or will let me decide what the spell is going to look like, and I'll be able to link game objects to it and stuff like that. So yeah, actually we will have this be a scriptable object. Then we will create an asset menu, yeah, create asset menu, and then menu name is equal to, let's say, definition, spell effect. Yeah, I really need to get back into some Java stuff. I know that there's some Java game engines too. But I've never used one, and I'm sort of afraid to. Let's say, do I want to use an interface or not? It's hard to say. Trying to think. Trying to think of what I want to do. Because I actually kind of want to put an enum in here to determine what the effect type is. But I also don't. Yeah, okay, we'll do it. Alright, fine. Just gonna do it anyway. We'll see what happens. So spell effect type. And this will just be basically the same thing as the spell target. So just grab u, spell effect type, grab the name. It will be, not here, a spell effect type, and one of the effects will be damage. Another will be heal. Okay, this will just be so that we can test this. We don't need this. And we will say execute, so you execute an effect on a target. And so it'll be the spell effect type, this. We'll say this is the type. And the actual target will be a unit. And that's all we need here. So unit component, unit. Oh yeah, Lua's really awesome. If you actually have you seen like Roblox and stuff? Because if you play Roblox, you can actually code almost completely. No, actually completely in Lua. And actually, if you want to switch away from Java, C# and like the .NET sort of languages integrate like very well with Lua. Like I know that Unity, like integrating like Unity coding in Lua is extremely easy. Like I've done it before. But yeah, Roblox is a good place to use Lua. So this is going to be a read-only list of, let's say, actions? Sure. Oh, I came to Java from C#. Ew, why? Why would you go to Java from C#? Like C# is just C# is just the better version of Java. At least in my opinion it is. I mean, I guess if it's for like a job or something, it's probably fine, but like if you know all the C#, like Java is basically C# if you throw out a bunch of concepts. Making my own game maker inside Click Team Fusion. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's really neat. Okay, yeah, like I've made game engines in Java before, but yeah, never really great. Just wanted to see what it's like. It's basically Java is C# if you remove the type constraints on generics, so you can't. So like in C# you can do the colon where t is whatever. Can't do that. You can't do implicit conversions. You can't do indexers. You can't do operator overloading. You can't do tuples. You can't do tuple deconstruction. You don't have discards. That's basically what Java is. It's like the stripped down version of C#. It's really bad. But yeah, it's Java's in a really sad state, unfortunately. The only reason that people use it is because like the skill cap on Java is so low that people right out of college basically know the extent of the language. What do you mean, what the hell am I talking about? What thing? Which of the things did I mention that don't make any sense? Or that maybe I said something wrong? I don't know. I don't know a ton about C sharp. But I do know that there's a lot of things you can do in C sharp that you can't do in Java. So list of unit components. This is spell effect functions. Just listed a bunch of C sharp from C sharp that I didn't understand. Oh, a single thing. Okay. Give me a second, and I'll go through some of it. So in C sharp, you can do. So one of the things you can do is indexers. So in the case of. Oh yeah. Also this is string interpolation. You can't do this in Java. Yeah, they don't allow you to do that. What was the other thing? What was another thing? Oh yeah, like method references in this way in Java we would have to do, well actually no. Oh god, what would I have to do to actually reference this in Java? I think I'd have to do, in Java I would have to do this, because I'd have to specify which class it comes from, even though it's in the same class, so you can't do like method groups that way. In the case of, let's say, like the map component, so you have things like this. This is an indexer. So it basically defines like, basically says that I can say, you know, map component of x, y, like an array. So I use that in spell target. So the only reason that this expression works, or we have the map, this is of type map component. Casting on, bro, I always use casting. Yeah, I know. Isn't it so great that you can just oh god, where was that? Where did I put that? Oh god, what did I do? Is it in spell effect? No, it's in spell definition. Yeah. You can't do this in Java. In Java you have to do string.format, and then you give it the string. So I'd have to say like casting %s on %s. Then I would say name and target. Ever heard of Click Team Fusion? I have heard of it, I have never used it. Yeah, this is the Java version. This is the hideously ugly Java version. I mean, to be honest, I prefer the Python where you just do, you know, like casting on, and then you say, you know, .format, name, target. I'd prefer if Java would let you do this, but it doesn't. Oh yeah, extension methods too. You can't do, so in Java you can't do extension methods like this, which sucks. But you can do some crazy stuff with enums. Like in Java, one of the differences between Java and C# that's amazing is in Java when you define an enum, what you actually get, so in Java what this would mean, Java would create an instance of this class, and it would create two. It would create one called damage and one called heal. So in Java you can actually create like methods on your enums. It's like, it's so amazing how it works. And so this is how you mimic it in C#, is you basically declare an extension method and then you index into like an array and stuff. Casting name on target is something I can just do. Yeah. Python is really nice. But I didn't know that you could do that with RenPy. That's cool. I guess because it's probably something to do with monkey patching or something, where they're just checking for the angle brackets or the square brackets. Yeah, I don't know. I think I prefer this syntax just because it has the syntax highlighting. Like, I guess your PyCharm IDE probably could do the syntax highlighting for RenPy, but I don't know. Click Team Fusion was intended for platformers, but extensions made it very advanced. Let me check it out really quick. It's Click Team Fusion. Let me have a look at that. Ooh, okay. Oh dear God. Oh my God. That's both incredible and terrifying. Wow. I'm trying to think of whether or not I like this. I kind of do, actually. This looks like it was based on... This looks like it's Eclipse based, almost. Almost. But I can't tell. PyCharm IDE. Well, PyCharm has its benefits. It can manage your Python runtime version for you. But that's really all it can do. So, spell, effect functions, int, type, dot invoke. But yeah, in terms of like features, C# is just the better version of Java. It just really is. So this is unit dot, let's say take damage, let's say take 1 damage for damage, and then we'll say unit dot, I don't think we have a heal. Oh, we don't have a unit dot heal, okay. So we need to make that. So I guess we say public void heal for int amount, and then I think we just say, oh, what is it? How did I do the take damage? Because it's basically the same thing. Yeah, okay. Oh, unit.take damage. Oh, I did it through the unit. Okay. Right. So public void heal, heal, int amount. You also can't do this. You don't have the question mark operator in Java either, which makes me mad. I wish they did. We also don't have, the actions aren't as nice. They also don't have a zero argument function, like, they don't have like a zero argument function thing. Like the functional programming just sucks. Like in Java, if you have like something that takes a value and let's say, you know, returns nothing, then that would end up being a supply, or that would end up being a consumer. But then if you have something that takes nothing and say returns A, then it's a supplier. The problem you get is that if you have something that takes nothing and returns nothing, there's nothing for that. It really sucks. And ClickTeam has extensions, file management, Lua, JSON, JSON management, code, I guess, better input stuff. Okay, basically do anything is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so yeah, just through like plugins and stuff, you can do a whole bunch of cool stuff. It's almost like Minecraft in that respect, where the plugin system is just so advanced that it's almost just a plugin platform at this point. Health current, nope. So we'll say health current is equal to mathf.max. Oh wait, do I already have the overflow guard in here? Oh yeah, you also can't do auto properties in Java, which is always fun. You have to do getters and setters explicitly. Current is equal to, oh yeah, we don't have Unity though. Using Unity engine. It has extensions for Discord. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I was wanting to make a Discord game at some point, but it's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Health current and health max. And then invoke on health change. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So in here, all we need to invoke is unit.heal. Unit. Wait a minute. Where did take damage go? Okay, so, oh, okay. You can literally throw neural networks into click team extensions. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, neural networks it's one of those things, like I wanted to get into it, but it's been pretty, I don't know, it's been pretty opaque to me. Quick team has been written in C or C# or C++. So this is a common misconception, but C# is actually not a C language. It's based on Java. Microsoft basically took the Java runtime, and they were like, hey, that's a good idea. Let's just make it better. And so they added a bunch of features to it and made it compliant with the CLR. But at its core, I'm pretty certain that C# is actually still based on a lot of Java stuff. But yeah, C++ is built directly on top of C, and then the JVM is built on top of C, but Java is compiled in itself, and I think C# might have reached that point as well, where they write C# in C# now, but I don't remember. Yeah, I know that they kind of forked ways at C# or at Java, and then later they looped back to make C# like CLR compliant, so now it runs in it runs correctly, or it runs on, I don't know how to say it, but yeah. I think that, wait a minute, did I not put the spell effect? I did not, okay. The spell effect, this needs to be spell effect type, type. So this is public, spell effect type, spell effect type. This might be the only thing we need to do. Execute, right? I mean, everything you can do, as well as make, oh yeah, click team. Yeah. It's kind of funny when languages reach the point, or when tools reach the point where they're so generic that they can build themselves. I mean, most languages, like most programming languages, have reached that point where they are actually like written in themselves. It's like crazy. Effect. So this is for execute. This would be effect dot type dot execute on with the person that made. Oh, that's cool. That person must be very smart. They must also have a lot of time on their hands. So they made an FNAF engine that is semi-popular. Oh yeah, you just make some kind of maker for Five Nights at Freddy's type games. Five Nights at Freddy's got a really cool story behind it. Not like the actual game itself, but like the actual development story. Like the dude who made Five Nights at Freddy's has been making games for like 10 years or something before that, and he ended up and like FNAF was just his like big break or whatever. Yeah, it really did. It's like crazy if you look up. I think it's Scott Cawthorn is the guy, but apparently like FNAF was made. Oh, this should be heal self. Heal self. Apparently FNAF was made like as the result of like a serious sort of depression. Like he tried to make like a kids game, and someone was like, this game is terrifying. And then he like got depressed, and he decided that if he wanted to scare people, that he really could. And then he made Five Nights at Freddy's. He was basically vindicated. Click team point. Freaking free roam game made in Unreal, developed by a whole damn team. Yeah. 14, click, yeah. Okay, so we have damage others, and we should now be able to heal ourselves. Yes, we can heal ourselves. So happy. And we can't overheal ourselves either. Okay. Alright, apologies, but I need to take like a 5-minute break because something came up, but I'll be back in like 5 minutes. Alright, and back. Apologies for that. Just every once in a while something comes up when you live in an apartment building. It's always fun. Alright, so, newest trailer. Oh wait, if you haven't looked at first ever FNAF games trailer, and then look at the newest trailer, came a long way. Yeah, I watched some people play it once just back whenever I wanted to like develop video games or whenever I wanted to be a game developer. Watched it. I didn't want to really play it. Yeah, I watched a bunch of it, and yeah, it's pretty crazy how fast. Well, it's pretty crazy like whenever you give someone money, how good they can do. Because like Scott Cawthorn, whenever he was developing, like he had a lot of experience developing on his own. He just never had any money to actually make anything. But then whenever FNAF blew up, his bank account probably did as well. And so you can see you can see his experience whenever you give him money. Um, and yeah, the newest trailer made it into PlayStation State of the Play. Oh yeah, I don't doubt it with FNAF. Um, like Scott Cawthorn is an incredibly talented developer. It's just I don't know. I've never been a fan of the Five Nights at Freddy's stuff. It's just not my style of game. But that doesn't mean that it's a bad set of games overall. I mean, a lot of people criticized it because I think it was kind of samey. But if people want more of the same, like, who would the developer be to deny them? All right. I want to do one more thing before I end this stream, and that is I want to spawn, let's say, particle effects. I want to basically put in a field for the game object that we're going to spawn on each thing that we're affecting. So let's say, where can I get a sprite renderer that's facing correctly? You'll work. All right, let's duplicate you. Well, the newest game's not really made by Scott. Scott got a team. The second most recent is the VR game. Oh, okay. Oh god, there's a VR version of Five Nights at Freddy's? The original wasn't terrifying enough? Oh my god. It's amazing. Oh, that's terrifying. That must be like playing, like Subnautica in 3D or something, or in VR. I can't even imagine. Oh, it's terrifying. Oh my god. Oh god. I mean, that must be like, for people who like horror games, that must be like a dream come true at this point. But yeah, I know Scott probably doesn't spend a lot of his time like making the individual games, but he's still probably like the director, and he still decides who to like hire and fire and stuff like that. Or, at some level he's involved in sort of the direction of it. Oh, okay, there we go. I was wondering why that wasn't doing what I wanted. Is this part of the board? No. This is an effect. But yeah, I've got to watch someone play an FNAF VR game. I can't even imagine. Must be just terrifying. Newest games are made by the same team, Steelwolf Studios. It's hella promising. It's supposed to come out this year. Did they ever finish? Like, I saw there was like a version of FNAF that was kind of like almost like a Final Fantasy type game, like where you explored like a world and you had like a party and stuff like that. And I was actually kind of interested in that, but I lost track of what it was. Did they ever finish that? Sure, we'll do something like that. And then just say damage effect, sure. And I'll make prefabs effects. Yeah, game's getting delayed. I think, didn't Vampire the Masquerade also get delayed? FNAF World, that was 2015. Oh my god, he unpublished it? Wow, that's sad. I actually loved the idea. Like, I was like, oh, I want to play that. Like, if there was going to be any FNAF game that I ever played, it would have been that one. But yeah, I guess it's fair that he unpublished it. Like, I knew that there was some controversy with it whenever it came out, because it was really confusing. But I was like, yeah, if they just improved like the mechanics and the UI and stuff, or if they just improved the UI to make the mechanics more obvious, I thought it would have been a good game. That's sad that they unpublished it. I mean, I guess that figures. That's not what I meant to do at all. Prefab, unpack this completely and then put it back in here. In fact, game engine is super simple. That's good. Game engines that are really complicated. Yeah, okay, because it comes with a lot of stuff you need. Yeah, it's always good. That was one of the, well, I was gonna say that was one of the main like appeals to game engines early on, is because it was really complicated to develop games. Yeah, sure, that'd be cool. Yeah, whispering the documentation, I'd love to read it. I don't know, maybe I'll stream like a game jam. Maybe for a game jam that I stream, I'll do something with it. I don't know. It depends on what the game jams are and what kind of themes there are. I don't know. I might look into it. Let me go into not spell definition, spell effect. Say public, I don't know, game object, and then effect prefab. It's an early beta. Okay. Yeah, whisper in the documentation and I'll totally look into it. Spell effect prefab. Oh my god, what do I want to do? I want to do public void execute. I'm just going to do this. Just move this into here. Let's do the unit component. Let's say target. what we'll do is we'll say var effect equals instantiate at the target, or no, instantiate the effect prefab. Then at the transform.possible. Connect to the documentation on Steam. I dare you to do it. Okay. Let me go look really quick. Let me make sure I have it. Okay, yeah, I got it. So that is okay. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely have to look into that. I want to instantiate this at target.transform position. I know that the next, unfortunately, the next one I'm doing is going to be the, what's it called? The dungeon crawler one, because I think that's the next. I think that's the only other like important game jam that's coming up this month. Might be next month. I think it's like 20 days or something. Oh, react to the documentation on stream. I don't know. I want to finish this up, but I might look into, probably look at the documentation maybe next stream. I don't know. But yeah, I want to finish this because we've only got like 10 minutes left in this stream. I'll say type dot execute on, let's say, the target, and then we instantiate the effect there, and then we say destroy the effect after half a second. Sure. Because really this needs to, I mean, you could do a dungeon crawler. I mean, if it's possible, I might look into it. I don't know, it depends on how much like custom work it would require. Because I know that it would be really easy for me to do it in Unity, but I'll definitely look into it. So this, as long as we run execute, I think everything should work. So we'll go into spell definition. And then rather than do this, we'll just say effect.execute. Then we'll execute on the target. So now we should get the, not particles, but like effects appearing. Let's check it out. Okay, I can't remember which one this is. It's broken, that's what it is. Okay, so that's the damage effect. I did not assign something. I probably didn't assign. Okay, let's go to spells. So this does have the effect. You just don't have the prefab. Okay, that's fair. So this is the damage effect. Then in spell effects, there's heal. And all we have to do is spawn the heal effect. Not health effect, heal effect, but you know. Okay, let's grab one of these. And let's see. Okay, so we do get the heal effect, that's good. And of course, I can improve that later. All right, so let's see if it works on multiple targets. We don't get the damage effect because it's not a spell. Okay. Yeah, okay. So we do get damage on everyone. Yes, perfect. And then if we take a little bit of damage, we can heal ourselves. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so we have the magic stuff working. All right. Okay, so in a second I'm going to have to wrap this up, but build 9 of the engine will include a layer system. The engine will have 4 layers you can add, delete, custom layer, layer 2, and then the UI/overlay. Overlays are on a separate layer because by default the engine will have a key combo, Control H to show and hide the UI. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a thing that I wish was easier to implement in like Unity, which is like the hide, show the UI. Unfortunately, in Unity, it's a complete and utter mess to do something like that because you have to know. you know, you have to know which canvases to hide and show. But like, it's weird because Unity, they render everything on like the UI layer. Like all the canvas stuff renders on the UI layer. Or at least I thought it did. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh no, yeah, it's all in the UI layer. But I don't think you can show / hide a layer normally, which is lame. Well, actually, I guess you could change, or no, wait, can you change the culling mask at runtime? Actually, I might be dumb. Because I think you can change, never mind, I might be wrong. You might be able to change the culling mask at runtime. So creating sprite would be, create, path relative, ID name, okay. Let's look at it. CL float, okay. Let me see. Let me just take a look. Oh, okay. So the sprite path. I assume this is in click. Oh, so this is in Lua. Okay. So yeah, the issue with this would be that I would need to look up. Lua because I like Lua and I have used it in the past, but my Lua is very, very rusty. Okay. This is engine function project name. Okay. Save the project, it's the optional. Okay, leave the function for every frame. Experimental and might cause crashes. Okay. Alright, but yeah, I will definitely have to look into that. And if I can get my Lua up to a point where I can actually write code in Lua again, I'll have to look into using that engine for a game, because I've always wanted to learn Lua, but I've never. Like, whenever I've integrated it with Unity, it's just been too easy to lean on C#. But if I don't have anything to lean on and I have to figure out how to do it in Lua, then that would probably be a very fun challenge. So yeah, it uses an ID system for sprites to keep track of things. Okay, yeah, that's fair. But it's been great talking to you, the percentage guy, but I do have to end the stream because I gotta go do some stuff. But if you want to chat later, I'll be back at 3 Central for some GeneForge stuff. But yeah, it was great talking to you, and I will definitely look at the documentation stuff. And if I can get my Lua back to passable, I will look into writing a game with that. Yeah, it's been great talking to you, and I will see you guys.